Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, and I am excited to bring you our very first Wildwood Heritage Glen fifth wheel that's ever made landfall. We've been carrying the Wildwood travel trailers for a while, but we hadn't been into their laminated products until recently, and I gotta tell you, I like what I'm seeing. This is a very good definition of what I call smarter class camping, but it doesn't feel totally on the basic side. What blew me away though, this is a big quad slide fifth wheel. I bet it's every bit of 40 feet. The model number says 369, but I bet it's 40 feet. They're definitely in a 3/4 ton and up towing range here, by the way. Half tons need not apply. But 11,930 pounds. Under 12,000 pounds for this big thing. That is shockingly light. I'm not going to call something that weighs, we'll say 12,000 pounds for the sake of argument, an ultralight, but that is way lighter than what I was expecting out of one of these. And you know, people ask us, why do you carry this one? Why don't you carry that one? They all need to bring something a little bit different to our lineup. And I like the touches. I like the different kinds of colors. I like the different refrigerator options that this one has. The little thing they're doing on the stairs, you know, it's a middle bunk room, but it's got just enough of a setup it could easily convert into an office. It's like washer, dryer, stackable, capable. There's a lot of really good things that go into here, and it will just absolutely cut the throat price-wise of a lot of other big fifth wheels out there. And as we go, I'm going to show you a couple areas where maybe they don't go all the way as some of those other fifth wheels, which is definitely going to be some of the difference in the budget. But overall, for somebody like me, I'd be all over something like this. And I would love to hear from you folks. What do you think about this one? Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent as we go through? And if you haven't done so, if you like what we do here, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button, because we have got a bunch of other Heritage Glens coming. And now we're going to call this a middle bunkhouse. You know, if you look this up and you ask any sort of salesperson anywhere, hey, what mid bunks you got? This is definitely one that they're going to start taking you to. But I've always felt it's actually the living room that's the star of the show, because the whole point of a middle bunk room is that you don't have a crappy living space. So many bunkhouses, it's all the sleeping capacity that's the star of the show, and then there's nowhere to sit in the thing. Now there's something else I wanted to show you. I'm going to flick the lights off, and if you're sensitive to flickering light, you might want to look away. I don't think this will be bad though. Look above the slide right there. I love that they're using white overslide accent lighting instead of that aggressive disco neon blue. But another thing, this is where it's very handy, especially in a bunk room with a bunch of little people running around, for what I call stealth mode camping. And then we can obviously kick all the lights on. So what I mean by stealth mode is, at night, in the morning, you don't want all of the lights on. It just blinds everybody. Well, it is nice, though, to be able to kind of navigate the RV without, you know, getting too bright. And I think it does that very well. Now, standard, you've got a 15,000 BTU air conditioner up there. We do like to build this with a second factory air, though, to really maximize the cooling capacity. As we work our way around here, down below, very, you know, common fare. We've got a electric space heat and what I call Tootsie Toaster right down there. Keeps the old Tootsies warm, you know. But you may have also noticed there are no floor vents in this. Now, there is a little bit of carpet in front of the slide in the bedroom and under the rear sofa, so you might need to budget that into your, you know, purchasing decision-making system there. But I will always make sure that I point areas of concern like that out to you. I'm gonna get to one more of those in just a second, but first I want to start. I mean, just huge panoramic windows. But this is one of the other cool things about a middle bunk or bonus room or whatever you want to call it with a loft. There are 4 separate sleeping spaces in this RV. You've got the master bedroom, you've got that trifold sleeper sofa back there, you've got the loft and the middle room. So this is an awesome model. Let's say you've got a couple different teens or something like that, you need some privacy, or you've just got all kinds of guests and friends. You got it. Now, I mentioned just a second ago, we have all the windows in the world here, and you saw the total blackout roller shades that they have on these, which is really nice. One thing I want to make sure that you catch, though, it's odd to me that they do this, but that window right there to the left of the hide-a-bed sofa, it's the only window in this thing that does not open for airflow. You might have noticed the opposing window does. And I think you've got plenty of airflow from the rest of the windows. I do kind of like the unobstructed view, because if it doesn't open for airflow, there doesn't have to be a screen, which does, not significantly, but look to the bottom right. It does, you know, diminish your vision a little bit. It does feel nice, though, to have it just wide open like that. And something I found on a personal camping trip with my family. My wife and I were on a hide-a-bed. My daughter was on the theater seat, kind of like you saw. I had the theater seat opened up with the hide-a-bed open. That was sort of the arrangement that we had. And we never had enough USB plugs. There's USB plugs inside of the console of that theater seat, USB plugs on both sides of the sofa, up in the bedroom. I mean, they're all over the place. I don't know about you. I've got a tech-addicted family. We've all got at least 2 devices that require USB charging. Having all of that stuff handy is so nice. And big fifth wheels, very often, do not have dinettes. And I understand, I like the freestanding tables that come in a lot of RVs, but I really do like sometimes the option for putting a dinette into something, especially if you're looking for maximum storage or maximum sleeping. That's something that a dinette does very, very well. Now, when we open the kitchen up, that drawer is very interesting to me. What would you use that for? It's over here in a very generously sized pantry, which is another thing I really like for this one. We're going to talk about this again in a minute, but this one has the middle bunk room door in the hallway directly across from the entry door. Some people really like it when the door is over here in the kitchen. I kind of like it when it's in the hallway because this allows for more storage in the kitchen to feed everybody. What are your thoughts on that, though? And while you're typing that up, I want to let you know you've got a couple different refrigerator options here. What we're looking at here is the default. It is a residential 110 electric only refrigerator, so not going to be a good option for boondocking. Even though it does come with an inverter, it will eat batteries alive. However, it is the largest capacity refrigerator that you can get in one of these, clocking in at 14 cubic feet. Now, there's a 12 to 13 cubic foot gas electric two-way option. And I have it on good authority from the factory. Ironically, the day this RV landed, they got their first big 12-volt refrigerator for engineering testing to make sure that it is going to, run and stay running according to their standards. I will tell you this. There's arguments for and against gas electric or residential refrigerators, either way you want to look at it. But the moment that 12-volt refrigerator becomes available, I will tell you that will absolutely become our stocking default here at Haylett RV. I just don't have any information on that yet. Now, the island over here, we'll check the storage out on that in a minute, but notice the outlets mounted on the face here and that big overhang. I would say that's a perfect place to put a wastebasket, but in just a second here, you're going to find we don't need to. So first of all, getting the dish strainer, kind of the drying rack out of the way, you can see that is just a nice big stainless farm sink, which in fifth wheels, you find less and less. Like it's common in trailers, but not as much in fifth wheels. And that right there is where I'm saying, you don't need wastebasket space. They already put one in for you, which is, I think, actually kind of cool. And I like the toe kick around this island. It really lets you kind of belly right up to the bar. And this is all sealed edge pressed membrane countertop. I think you can argue that solid surface has a better look. It's more expensive, it's heavier, and it doesn't really do anything more than this one does. And that's the kind of smart money things that I'm talking about over here. And again, with the dinette, little extra storage in there, which is kind of nice. Now, as we're passing through, it doesn't have to be fancy. Sometimes just a little place to hang a jacket by the door. Mwah! Thank you. Well done, Wildwood. And you've got your touchpad up here for your auto leveling. But like, hey, I just want to operate the lights. I want to operate the tank heaters or the slides and awnings. Like all that stuff is right here. And the dual air conditioners, again, when you get the second air conditioner, you're going to get the dual digital thermostats. So if you want to kind of have a little bit more of a dual zone, hot, cold, Katy Perry air conditioning. You're hot and you're cold. You're yes and you're no. There you go. You can be in and out. You can be up and down. And again, it doesn't have to be fancy. When a manufacturer does something like this, and they make air useful, giving me a shoe garage by the door or a place to put my dog's dishes by the door, and it doesn't cost me anything, that's really cool. That's the kind of stuff I really like in here. Now, as we're seeing it right now, this can be an expanded living space, but if we fold that down, this has like something you might find in a stick and tin Wildwood trailer, the Versa Queen bunk system. That is basically like it's like a Camp Queen on the bottom. It's like a 60 by 74 Camp Queen down there. So that is good for sleeping more than just kids. Now, as I twist you around over here, I was saying it's basic, but it's enough. You've got the beginnings of a little mini office space right here. You could absolutely do a little customizing here if you needed to. I like the extra USB plugs there, though, because, again, kids, or if you're using it as an office, you need that extra capacity. And built-in storage in a bunk room, yes, ma'am, thank you. That's just... that is something people just, if you've never camped, you don't realize how much space your kids take up. Now, there's a little glitchy thing over here. I think it would have just been easily resolved. I'm an idiot. It's not covered by the door, but the switch is, it should be just a little bit. Or maybe like right here. It seems funny that you have to open the door and come all the way in and kind of come around the door to get to the switch. Is that just me? And then just upstairs here, we've got our loft space. I personally prefer how they've done it here. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Like the extra kind of storage across from the bed right there, or that, I don't know, I guess that could be the headboard, whichever way you want to put it. I do like also, this is an awesome detail. The vaulted ceiling up here really opens it up. Very nice if you've got bigger kids or adult size guests, but this could always be an attic. It doesn't have to just be a bunk. You could take this thing out. It's nicely finished below. The carpet makes it easy to slide totes. It's not bad for attic storage, but what I was getting at, that's not a breeze window, but it is a nice skylight for light in a sense, and it does still have a blackout shade for privacy. But what I was saying, what I like about this is the positioning of the ladder at the highest part of the stairs. God forbid the kid takes a tumble, they're more likely to land here on something flat versus fall 8 foot from the sky. Now, I know that some people dislike the idea right there that, yeah, but going down the steps at night, oh God, I could trip and fall down this thing. Okay, I can acknowledge that, I can recognize that. I think to each their own. Personally, I would rather prefer I take on that risk than my kid. What do you think about that? Or about that? This is hard to do in reverse imagery. The weatherman is more talented than you think, okay? Now, the bathroom arrangement is, I think, fairly pedestrian. Everybody and their brother seems to make a bathroom very much like this, but for good reason. It's very nice. It's very effective. I think it does a very good job. But I'm going to give Wildwood Heritage Glens some credit here. Their execution of this is, I think, very smartly on point. First of all, I'm just kind of panning you around. You saw there's plenty of room in the headroom in the shower for a guy like me, and this is about as fluffy, friendly of a toilet as you can get. Big time space beside you, in front of you. It was so, I sat down and, oh wow, this is like big time space over here. Now, up top, they're using the same type of max air vent fan that a Jayco Eagle fifth wheel is using. So if you're familiar from our previous videos, you already know about this. If not, this little lever doodle right there, technical term, it opens and closes vents up on the roof. So this is always a rain blocker style fan, which I think is very cool. And just cracking everything open, giving you a little bit of look at all the storage here. The double doors for the linens, the couple drawers I think is really smart. And then when we get over here, one of the things I really like about this is that open pocket right there. Now, it comes with a toilet paper holder. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty far from the toilet. That's tough for me to reach, and I got long arms, I'm a tall guy. So if you wanted to go with a toilet paper stand, you've got room to put that, or a nice wastebasket in the bathroom. Sometimes, guys, it doesn't have to be fancy. Sometimes it's just gotta work, and really, that's what I like here. They really nailed the fancy points where they could, but they stayed simple and smart where they should. And I felt like about half an idiot. I went wandering around this hallway forever trying to find the switch for the light above me. Turns out, I told you, I'm about half an idiot, okay? And whether you just need a break from your darling angel little children, or it's the end of the night, early morning, you wake up, this is what you're going to be looking at here. I like the space for a nice big TV across from the bed, but that giant window over there gives you an amazing view of your campsite, but it does have the same blackout roller. That's the thing. This has the same blackout roller shades here that you have like in the living room. They've done a good job of staying consistent on that. Now, we're going to look at some storage, but somebody help me out. You see that little boxy bench right there? So it reminds me of something like I've seen in a Montana high country. It's a little place that you could, maybe put some clothes or some shoes, a little boot bench or something like that. But it doesn't seem to open. Now maybe this one is just fixed in there a little tight. Am I missing something? It feels like there's an opportunity for something there. I don't know. Now you might notice it is a carpeted bedroom. Some people love that. Some people hate that. I'm just pointing it out so you can make a decision. We have campers here at Haylett's that are both ways. And this bed, let's talk about this bed. It's not a king. It's not a queen. It's a quing. It's some weird 66-inch wide in-between size. So, now, let me back up a little bit. I mentioned that, which is fine. Now, all the Heritage Glen fifth wheels, that's the bed they come with. But the Elites, by the way, they come with a 72 by 80 bed. So keep that in mind. The Elite is like the big brother to this. If you wanted to sacrifice those side stands and a little bit of your walk-around space, which is actually nicely plentiful in this model, you could turn that into a bigger king bed space. They just do the quing by default. I don't know. Something different, I guess. I like it. I like having something different here at Haylett's for a change. And up top, notice that vaulted ceiling? And again, that optional second air. That being said, I cannot imagine not having the second air conditioner installed on this straight from the factory level. I'm going to turn you around. You're going to see the ugliest looking thing in this RV, and that is my sweaty face. First of all, I just wanted to walk around so you could see how much headroom is in this thing. But, hey folks, hydration check. I'm going to go get some water. I am like physically raining over here. Now, I just discovered something here. You see that little wedge? It prevents the door from opening necessarily all the way, so at a glance you're like, that's stupid, why would they do that? I think I figured out why. I think it's to be able to access the bedroom with the slide closed in road mode. Because if you're noticing, this big bed and the door overlap. Now, if that door is open when you close it, the wedge behind it will keep that door from bouncing around too much so it doesn't bang anything up, and it keeps that door handle from smashing into the wall. Now, if you do have that bedroom door closed and the bed slide closed, which first of all is tricky because that is the switch for the bed slide. So you always have to physically be able to line of sight actively this bedroom to close the slide, which is nice. You can make sure, oops, I didn't leave something in the way and it's going to crush some things. Now, spinning you around a little bit, I don't think it's any real secret that we can very easily access the bathroom here since it's on the door side of the RV and there's a hallway here. Our loft will remain available. The middle room here will remain available. We'll see that in just a second. But the lower deck, everything down here in the living room, it's a total loss, basically. You are not going to get to this in transit. I think it's a very good, amazing destination model. Obviously, you have some very limited travel accessibility. One other thing I want to mention, all these slides down here in the lower deck, the bunk room, the kitchen, this slide right here, they're all rack and pinion heavy-duty slides. It's not a lightweight slide system on the kitchen slide. They are using a Schwintek slide in the bedroom, but that's a small, lightweight slide for a lightweight slide system. It makes sense. And, again, with this door open in here, we could get in here to pack stuff up in transit if need be. And another thing I noticed is this door... You can do the same thing as you did in the master bedroom. You can basically have it here behind. It's not actually the slide fascia, it's actually the slide floor, and you can close the slide without crushing it. Now, I don't know if they did any of this on purpose. I just know that that works pretty well. So without access to the lower deck, I guess this one qualifies for the very ceremonious title of Nap and Crap Accessible. Now, we carry a variety of things here at Haylett RV. But if you're looking at a big chunk of our fifth wheel lineup over here, you notice how that color palette looks pretty consistent, even though it's like one's a Forest River, one's a Keystone, one's a Jayco. At a glance, the color package is very similar. I actually kind of like the fact that this just has a little bit of what I would often refer to as old man tan, just a little bit of variety. And you know what? Some people just still like the tan look, and I don't think I understand that. I think there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Now, if you notice over here, this does have double power awnings with all of the windows over here on the door side. So once again, you can enjoy your sight. But under the larger of the two, I think I'm going to call it maybe your primary or at least your forward awning. There's a lot going on. And that is both a good and a bad thing because there is an area where it kind of gets in its way, and I'm going to share that in just a minute. We're just going to start working our way down. First of all, according to this sticker over here, I guess you can, like, you know, hook up a dog leash or something to that. I always thought that was so that once I had one too many drinks, which is anything more than one, and I'm about 2 sheets to the wind, I don't go wandering off the campsite and have an inappropriate moment with the neighbors. But evidently, you can use it for dogs too. Speaking of which, you got the Barley Popinator 9000 series. That's a revision number 37 there in the upper right. The battery disconnect is up nice and high where shifting cargo ain't gonna smash it. Very handy if you got to make an evasive maneuver on the highway. And that big gray box, that is the inverter. That will help keep that refrigerator running when you're going down the road so your stuff doesn't spoil when you get there. Or if the park loses power, you can kick that on, and it will eat batteries very quickly, but that might be just enough to keep your fridge and freezer from melting on you, you know. Now, in the middle here, we have some entertainment hookups, but then we've got this door right here. Now, this is, I think, no matter how they would have done this door, awkward. Because if it opens this way, it kind of overlaps with that speaker, it overlaps with the outside TV hookups. If it opened the other direction, it could conflict with the main entry door. And if it flipped upward and you had a TV mounted out here, it would conflict with the TV. Now that I say that, the only way this could have made a little more sense to me is if it actually would have flipped downward. Hey, Wildwood, you paying attention? Flip that door down. Hey, folks at home, what do you think about that idea? Now, this has also got, you've got TV hookups with some power outlets that we just saw, but this is a little area where we have our handy mini fridge right here, and I was actually very glad to see that that does open the correct direction. I was really afraid it was going to open the other way and you had to like reach all the way around it, which would be stupid. Down below, we've got the propane cooker hooker, so we can sit out here with the pets, entertainment, cooking, fridging, and the bathroom is just inside the doorway to a dog leg right, you know. Everything is very easily accessible. This has awesome campsite function. Your eyeballs may be noticing down below the skirt line, this does have 6-point leveling on it, which is nice. A lot of times at this price point, you will still run into a lot of 4-point leveling systems, which are perfectly fine. But the extra 2 points of contact, I'm telling you, the extra stability that you experience out of it as a result, it's just no joke. Around the backside here, we're backup camera ready. We're gonna climb up that ladder in just a little bit here. And the ladder's no small thing. There's actually been a ladder shortage in the RV industry. So the fact that that is there, so you can get up and more easily check your roof maintenance and stuff, that's fantastic. You may note down below too by the bumper, there's a 300-pound rated accessory rack. Very handy on a bunk model like this if you wanna be able to bring along all the bikes and all that sort of thing. Now, in case you're curious, Rockwood sometimes still does some of this. You see that antenna sticking up off the slide, and you're like, what in the dickens? Which, you know, I don't think anybody really says anymore, but that's the kind of reaction that antenna elicits. It's just a radio antenna for your stereo system, which means your radio is actually probably going to work a lot better here since a lot of RVs don't really include an actual like antenna for the radio anymore. It just kind of goes through the TV antenna, and it sometimes works okay a little bit, you know. All the slides, by the way, are slide awning prepped, so if that's something that you're interested in, we can assist you with that here at Haylett RV. I don't know how well you're seeing it in the direct sunlight. You might be blinded by the light, Mr. Manford Man there, but there are nose accent lights on this, just nice white accent lights, so you can kind of throw a little you know, light over your site in the evening hours. And a couple little things up here I thought were kind of cool. Little plug buddy. I see these on Wildwood trailers all the time, and it's cool that they incorporated something similar into their fifth wheels. Now, you can pretty easily stuff the pigtail right there up in the box of it, but it is kind of a knuckle buster situation. It's nice that you can just holster that thing, basically. It keeps it, you know, up out of the way. It keeps it from falling down into the dirt, into the snow or whatever you have, wherever you have it. I don't know. I thought it was kind of handy. Spare tires tucked away up front here where it's going to be nice and protected from the weather. I suppose you could always relocate it. And something else. These are standard, pre-wired for dual batteries from the factory. Now, speaking of batteries, Well, first of all, we include your first battery at no charge from Haylett RV. That's part of our no fees program. There's a whole bunch of things, including water and power electric surge guards, that we include at no additional charge on top of our sale price for you. And there's another way you can get a battery on one of these. You can get their optional solar package. Now, as you see the little plug over here, these are standard roof solar prepped. We've not applied that option to the RV in this specific video. I think that that'd be a very nice pairing if you got a gas electric fridge and you're looking for boondocking. I saw this one though is a little bit more of a park use with that residential refrigerator. I like that thing. Does that not look good though? Now, their solar package, it's from the factory, just a simple 100-watt panel, but it's a 30-amp charge controller that does allow you to basically daisy chain and add some more panels to get up to 500 watts of solar potential without needing to really change any other hardware on the RV. So, by default, it's a good park use RV. It can be built, though, I think, for some very reasonable off-grid potential. So that's my 3 cents. I would say 2 cents, but I think I talk enough that at least 3 cents should cover it. So, this is a newer offering into our lineup here. So if there's if you're familiar with these, if there's something I got wrong, please leave me a comment. Let me know. I don't mind hearing when I got something wrong, or if you have a different way of looking at something from, like, sometimes I'll share something that's just my opinion. Absolutely, please speak up. I'd love to hear from you. And again, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, because we have got a whole bunch more of these Heritage Glen fifth wheels coming, and a bunch of their nice laminated travel trailers. We are going to have the entire Wildwood full gamut of products here. So if that sounds good, when you're ready, give us a call here at Haylett RV. We don't do those pesky hidden fees, we just do everything else. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.